Otto Anderson is a very grumpy and angry old man. To everyone, he was often gruff and strict, and no neighbor wanted to live near him. Many years ago, he had a happy family with his beautiful wife, Sonia. They spent happy days together, but it did not last long when his wife passed away in an accident. Since then, he has lived a secluded life and has become an eccentric, difficult, and suspicious person. One day, Otto went to the supermarket to buy rope. When the employee saw Otto cutting the wire himself, he immediately ran over and said that he usually did that job for customers. Otto felt uncomfortable and thought that the employee was criticizing the old man, so he asked the employee to leave. When it was time to pay, the employee charged Otto the full 3 meters of rope according to the regulations, even though he had only bought 2.5 meters. After a heated argument, the manager finally had to give in. The next morning, when Otto walked out of the house, he saw many newspapers thrown in his yard. Picking up a piece of newspapers, he tried smelling it and felt uncomfortable because of the bad smell. He decided to collect them all and throw them in the trash. Seeing someone else's bike in the wrong place can also make him unhappy. He was indeed a very principled person. In a friendly neighborhood, people often greeted each other cheerfully, but Otto felt that it was annoying. When he saw a girl walking her dog, he shouted that if her dog pooped in front of his house again, he would not spare it. Perhaps only the stray cat did not stay away from him, but he still chased it away, and then he drove to work. When arriving at the company, he saw that everyone was having a very happy party. When he asked, he learned that the director had officially fired him that day. He always thought that without him guiding him step by step, everyone would not develop. However, everyone felt uncomfortable with he, a colleague who was always sarcastic and ready to scold. Realizing that they no longer needed him, he had to leave in despair and anger. When he got home, he was frustrated and yelled at the delivery man because she parked her car in the wrong place. The delivery man explained that she had only stopped to deliver a package and then leave immediately. She also emphasized that the sign did not indicate where she was supposed to stop to deliver the package. Then, he went into the house and began cleaning up. He changed into a nice suit. When he was ready, he took out a coin with the intention of ending his life, but he was careful to put newspaper on the floor to avoid scratching it. At that moment, Otto discovered that the family of the new neighbor, pregnant Marisol, her husband Tommy, and their 2 daughters Abby and Luna, had damaged the sidewalk by driving. Otto ran outside to warn them that they were ruining the neighborhood. But they said that because they had just moved in, they still couldn't back up the car. He got into the car to help them park, and then he met 2 children, Abby and Luna. Seeing them greet him politely, he was no longer angry. Just one drive is enough for him to put the car in the right position. Then they thanked him, but he only responded with a cold face and went straight into the house. He sat there, disappointed with his life, when suddenly he heard a knock on the door. It turned out that Marisol and Tommy had brought some food to thank he. They were a happy and optimistic family. No matter how grumpy he was, they always had a bright smile. He didn't seem to like it, but they liked him very much. Even though Otto felt very annoyed, but it's been a long time since he felt cared for by someone. After entering the house and trying the food, he found that it was quite delicious. After finishing eating, he used the rope to end his life. However, the rope suddenly broke, causing him to fall to the ground. At this time, he saw a newspaper advertisement for 2 bouquets of flowers for only $8. He decided to buy flowers for his wife. He quickly bought 2 bouquets and went to his wife's grave, sat down, and talked about seabirds. He expressed that his life was meaningless without his wife. He also kept complaining about his life. When he returned home, Otto quietly recalled the past. The first day he met his wife, Sonia, it was at a train station. He missed his military physical examination just to pick up the book she dropped and return it to her. When he saw her beauty, he was so surprised that he could not speak. She thanked him and invited him to sit next to her. After a while, the train conductor came to check his ticket. He realized that he had boarded the wrong train. He had no choice but to buy a new ticket, but he only had $1 left in his pocket. Seeing this, she quickly took out the money and gave it to him. After paying, there was still a coin left. She told him to keep it because it was a lucky coin. It was also the coin that he always carried with him. While he was feeling emotional, Marisol and Tommy came to his door again. Their window was broken, so they came to borrow a ladder to fix it. Although he was annoyed, he still went down to the storage room to get the ladder for them. At this time, his neighbor Anita came to him to ask him to fix her radiator. It was just a small thing, but she still needed help. After saying that, he went to get a ladder for Tommy to borrow, and suddenly, he discovered a black cat from the day before hiding under the car. No one expected that this cat would cling to his pants and not let go. The next morning, Otto used a piece of water pipe and connected it to the car's exhaust pipe, then put the other end into the car, intending to let himself die slowly. In a state of delirium, he thought about his late wife Sonia. They had once dated at a fancy restaurant. When the food was served, only Sonia got any food, and he ate first at home because he was very poor. He did so because he wanted to give her the best. Sonia understood and sympathized with him. The two fell in love until he graduated with an engineering degree. With the degree in hand, he immediately proposed to Sonia, and she agreed. Back to reality, Otto was immersed in beautiful memories when Marisol knocked on the door. It turned out that Tommy had fallen and seriously injured himself while fixing the window. Marisol came to him for help taking Tommy to the hospital. Since she didn't know the way and didn't have a license, so he reluctantly drove them to the hospital. When they arrived at the hospital, Otto was assigned to look after the two children, Abby and Luna. They asked him to read comic books and change his voices to match each character in the story. Then, they happily said that they wished Otto was their grandfather. This made him feel happy after a long time of loneliness. When going to the car, Marisol saw Otto smiling happily for the first time, because he had torn the clown shirt. She noticed that his smile was exactly like her father's smile. When she got home, Marisol found a cat lying motionless in the snow. She and her neighbor Jimmy picked up the cat and to go into Otto's house to warm it up. However, Otto did not agree, so they forced them to take it away. After that, Otto got in the car and headed straight to the train station. He thought about his wife again and intended to end his life. As he was preparing to do so, a man suddenly fell onto the tracks. Seeing that everyone was just focused on filming without anyone helping, he decided to jump down to save that person. After saving him, he was lying under the railway tracks again, still intending to end his life. But at that moment, a kind black man reached out and pulled Otto up, helping him escape death by a hair's breadth. Back home, Marisol asked Otto to teach her how to drive, but he didn't say anything and left. At this time, Jimmy brought the cat over because he was allergic to cats and couldn't keep it. Marisol was pregnant and had two small children at home, so Otto had to adopt the cat. From then on, he had a real friend, the cat. His heart became warmer, ready to communicate and share with strangers. Seeing Marisol being taught to drive, but going on the wrong side of the road, Otto immediately ran over and said he would help her learn to drive. At first, she only wanted to drive an automatic car, but Otto advised her that, to become a good driver, she should learn to drive a manual car. Soon, she was driving well and could reverse very easily. They then stopped at a bakery to rest. There, Otto shared with her about his life. As she asked him if he ever thought about wanting children, he thought for a moment and then said it was time to go home. When returning home, Otto was sought out by a female journalist, Kenzie. She informed him that his act of saving people on the subway had been known to more than 1 million people. So she wanted to interview him and gave him her contact information. At this time, Marisol asked him to babysit because she had to pick up Tommy. Otto is like a true grandfather, as he sat babysitting and read stories to the children. This was a feeling of happiness that he had never experienced before. The next morning, Marisol told Otto that her family had always considered him a member of the family. They were willing to help him when needed and considered him their father. However, Otto got angry and said that he did not need the help and asked them not to do it again. He affirmed that he did not want any other relatives besides his wife, and that would not change in the future. After saying that, he went into the house and closed the door, despite Marisol standing outside knocking on the door. The next day, Otto went to Anita's house because the real estate company was plotting to collude with the government to demolish this residential area and then build a busy commercial center for profit. So, he wanted to collect information from the residents in the neighborhood to reflect this dissatisfaction to the media. When he went to borrow Marisol's phone to contact the female journalist Kenzie, she was very angry and refused. She also blamed him for closing the door the whole day before, not responding to knocking on the door. He did not know that they were very worried about him. Marisol cried as she spoke, telling him to leave. Then, he apologized and explained that the real estate company was evicting people from the area, so he needed the phone. Marisol, understanding, let him in. At this point, Otto began to tell Marisol about his wife, who had passed away. That year, his wife was 6 months pregnant. Because they wanted to take his wife on a trip before the baby was born, they both traveled to Mexico. Unfortunately, a tragic accident occurred when the passenger car lost its brakes and overturned in the middle of the road. causing the car to flip over and taking the lives of both his wife and their unborn child. This loss left him with great loneliness and torment, like a psychological torture. He tried many times to end his life, to see his wife and child again, but all failed. Maybe his wife wanted him to continue living and striving for good things. After that, Otto called Kinsey and invited someone from the real estate company to come. Kinsey recorded the real estate company's provocations and threats to demolish the residential area and posted them on social media. Otto felt happy to have helped his neighbors. However, on the way home, he suddenly collapsed. Fortunately, Marisol arrived in time and took him to the hospital. The doctor informed him that he had dilated cardiomyopathy, but his life was not in danger for the time being. Hearing this, Marisol felt very relieved and delighted. From then on, Otto found true family happiness. He no longer had negative thoughts. Instead, he accepted his current life and felt the care from the people around him. He became a member of Marisol's family. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find it interesting, please give me a like and a comment about this movie. Especially, please subscribe to the channel to follow my movie recap. See you again, my dear friends.